Am with, as promised, an Adventure Time vlog. This is of this week's episode, Joshua and Margaret Investigations. And as the title suggests, this story is about Jake's parents. Basically, the plot is it's Jake's birthday. They don't say how old he is, but it's his birthday. And the show. And Finn asks, "Do you have any stories to tell us?" And then he says, "Yeah, here's the story of my parents." And it's basically Joshua and Margaret. They are investigators. They investigate cases for some reason, and while investigating this one case, Joshua gets infected, and Margaret has to find the cure while she's pregnant with Jake, and she gives birth to Jake and this brother who Jake doesn't know about, who I'm guessing they're going to explain in a later episode. And I wasn't too big on this episode. And shame, because I was kind of interested to learn about Jake's parents, but what I'm finding more about Adventure Time is when they do full-on backstory episodes about characters we already know, they aren't that interesting. I mean, not to say that they bad. I mean, Simon and Marcy worked for me because Simon's a completely different character than no, not that. I don't know. Simon and Marcy worked because it was the Ice King and Marceline who are characters I enjoy. But it's more than that. It's that I think I like the backstory better when it's given to me in small doses. Like I like how we never get told things about Joshua. We get bits and pieces of who Joshua is through little flashback here, little flashback there. Recording of Joshua. We never get a full-on Joshua episode. Or the Candy Kingdom. We never are just flat out given a whole origin of the Candy Kingdom. We're just sort of given snippets there, like in The Vault. The Vault's Shoku's story. I mean, the story of it's not about bubblegum forming the Candy Kingdom. That's in the background of the story of Shoko, who is an original character that we never had interest in seeing. Whereas these are characters we already know, and it's just, hey, here's the story. And it just felt really forced. Like, this was something either the fans wanted, they were scraping for an idea. Like, there was so much shoehorn stuff in here, like the origin of Joshua's hat, which we did not need, by the way. The origin of Jake's shape-shifting abilities, which Season 1 they already established. I think there's some retcon in here, because Season 1 Jake said he gained his shape-shifting powers by rolling around in a magic mud puddle. I guess it's kind of true here, but I don't know. Anyway, so there were some interesting things in this episode. I do like the little tidbits we get, the apocalypse, and how there's this whole... Because there was a flashback of Jake and his parents, and they were in the city, and I thought, oh, they were talking dogs before the apocalypse, but no, they're in Rex City, which is in a separate location from Ooh. I'm interested to see if they explore that in a later episode, because, like, there's a road leading to Ooh, and it's also interesting they're driving a car. We don't see... Outside we fixed a truck, there aren't any cars in Ooh, so... Since Joshua and Margaret gave birth to Jake, I wonder what happened to that. See, it's the background stuff that interests me more than the actual episode. When they give it to you in tidbits in the background, it's way more interesting. Joshua and Margaret, I didn't find them that interesting characters. And the Joshua I saw, it felt a little different from the Joshua from the previous... that we've gotten snippets of here and there. And I just didn't find Joshua and Margaret that interesting. Although I did like seeing how they survived without their shape-shifting abilities. I thought that was cool, though. I don't know. Did they need to be adventurers and investigators? I don't know, but it was kind of interesting. Because there was that moment where I was like, why don't they just shape-shift? I'm like, oh yeah, they can't. Jake's the one who got that ability. And, okay, interesting that we learned how Jake can shape-shift. Sort of, but again, you didn't really need to explain that. I do love the design of the creature Margaret has to face, although, I don't know, something about the animation feels a little off. Like, it feels a little otherworldly, like something that wouldn't belong in it. I love the design, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm used to everything being simple and dot eyes, and this just Something about it just popped for me. Again, it was a cool design. I'm not sure how well it meshed with you. Lastly, I did really enjoy the bit with Tree Trunks. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, I think Tree Trunks works pretty well when you use her in small doses. Like this here was a good Tree Trunks moment. And speaking of which, I really hope at some point this season we get our Tree Trunks episode where we get to see her and Baby Lich. So yeah, I really don't have that much left to say about the episode. I really wasn't that big on it. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't enjoying it as much as some of the other Adventure Time backstory episodes like The Vault or Simon and Marcy. But, again, in case you're wondering what I thought of the pre-episodes I didn't talk about, Furniture Meat was amusing, Prince of Bond, everything was pretty good. Not pretty good, it was alright. Something big I really enjoyed, The Little Brother was cute, Ocarina, alright. Crab Apples, Giuseppe, loved it. Princess Day, alright, and Nemesis. But anyway, yeah. So I'm done talking about this episode. Please, if you have any thoughts on the episode, comment below. I'd be really interested to hear if you guys share my opinion that it wasn't that good of an episode, or if you adored this episode and find it fascinating. And yeah, the next episode is Evergreen. I'm guessing it's either going to be about forests, trees, maybe Finn's sword will come back. And yeah. Stars 360 signing out. Take care.